Welcome to Branded by Amazing. This is episode number 9, and today we're going to talk about the different ways to rank your products on Amazon. I am Matt Clark, the CEO of Amazing.
And I'm Mike McCleary, the Chief Product Officer of Amazing.
So news item for today is, we've been working for about 6 months now with a software platform called Zoof. It's just Zoof.com. And they have an awesome suite of tools available for Amazon sellers that we just love the speed, the quality, the ease of use. And so we wanted to work with them to sort of take the platform even further. And so we've been working hard over the past few months to build a new way to select products on Amazon. And so we call this tool Spotlight, and it's now available inside of Zoof. So Zoof only has one membership level, and so you basically get a 14-day trial, then you start paying after that. And so it's included in the membership level everyone gets access to. So you can sign up for the 14-day trial, give it a try, see if you like it. And, if you love it, then keep it and become a paying member of Zoof. If not, you can cancel your free trial and you'll never be billed anything. So we highly encourage you to give it a try. And so we wanted to kind of reinvent the way people find products on Amazon, because most of the tools out there, they're kind of a variation of something that, maybe other people came up with it too, but we had a version like this that we kind of gave away for free, like 7 years ago. And basically, you're just trying to take all the products available on Amazon and come up with an easier way to kind of filter through them. And so most of them just have this big database or a Chrome extension, which requires you to go, do a whole bunch of searches on Amazon, or they just have this big database of products that lets you come up with filters to run. And so we wanted to come up with a much easier way that somebody who knew nothing about selling on Amazon could basically fire up this software tool and within seconds find great products you can sell on Amazon. So maybe Mike, just kind of give them a little bit of an overview of how does this thing work?
Yeah, so where the other tools that previously existed would just give you a list of thousands of products. And the one thing that we always saw that was kind of an issue was they showed the same product over and over again: a red hat, a blue hat, a green hat, a gray hat, whatever it is, what the products are. And it doesn't really tell you, is this product a good opportunity or not? So Zoof just asks you 2 questions. First thing is, what's your budget? How much do you have to invest in your first order? And that's going to include purchasing the inventory and also getting that product shipped all the way to Amazon to sell, because you have to spend money on both those things in order to get that product there. So you give it your budget. It can be as small as $1,000, it can be as much as $100,000, or pretty much unlimited. That's where we start. Once you've done that, then Zoof asks you one other question, and that's, what categories do you want to sell in? We let you choose up to 5. It can be sports and outdoors, tools and home improvement, home and patio, anything, any of these other categories you want. You tell Zoof that, and you hit a button, and then it goes through the database, of millions of products, and then based upon your criteria, plus other criteria that we've been using and refining over years to determine whether or not something's a good product opportunity, it will filter only to those products out there. And so it's not going to just give you thousands of products that may be different variations in the exact same product. It's going to give you one product. So for example, if a coffee mug was a good product opportunity, it would show you a coffee mug, and it would tell you, here's how much we think you'll need to spend in your first order. If it's a laptop case, if it's anything else, it tells you one iteration of that product and whether or not it's a good opportunity in order to make the process really, really simple. And, in the background, what Zoof is doing, it's looking at all the competition. So it looks at the entire market for that product. It looks and see what the people are selling it for, how much revenue they're generating, and also what the depth of market is. Are there are there other successful new products doing well without a ton of reviews? And then the other part that's looking at as well that no other tool does, that kind of like Zoof does, which is incredible. We were able to work them and figure this out. It gives you the estimated profitability, because what Zoof does, it's going to go out there and tell you exactly what the Amazon FBA fees are, what the Amazon referral fees are, and then it's going to estimate manufacturing costs, shipping, and even duties in order to use all that and calculate what the profitability is. And for us, making a good profit off every product is important. Otherwise, you don't really have a reason to have a business. So Zoof tells you that. All the criteria plus the profitability shows you one product, not thousands for each different one out there, and allows you to go out and find a great product opportunity.
And we've also built in a really cool feature that allows you to kind of plan a brand within the software tool, which we've never seen anywhere else. But for us, it just made sense, because it's like, okay, great, I find all these opportunities, but you're not just going to all of a sudden launch 3 products and start sourcing them overnight. So you need a way to kind of track these things on an ongoing basis. And then also, whether you already own an existing business or you're starting a new one, you want to kind of start planning these out in a brand. So say you're looking at bicycle products and you're like, okay, cool, I want to start a brand new bicycle brand. This tool allows you to kind of start selecting some of those products, putting them in like a mock brand within the software tool so you can see the total profit. You can start tracking suppliers and really start, helping your business come to life all within a software tool. No spreadsheets, none of that kind of stuff. And also we've built in some cool features for existing sellers. So this isn't just for new people finding products for the first time. If you own an existing brand and you want to start adding products to that brand, you can find products that are great opportunities within Zoof, and you can actually start planning those out next to your existing products, because we've built in the feature that allows you to pull in your current products and brands, right?
Yeah, and it's a great way to see the overall revenue per brand, overall profit per brand, and also track. One other thing you mentioned there is something we added to it: suppliers. So instead of, think about the old days when you had these spreadsheets out there to track everything manually. We tried to think of everything you put into a spreadsheet and put it into Zoof so you can track it all in one place. And then once you're selling, you can even see your profits and sales every single day. It's an amazing tool, tons of features out there for new sellers and existing sellers alike. And that's why you and I are both using it exclusively in our businesses now.
Yeah, so highly recommend you give it a try. It's basically free to try it for a couple weeks, so there's not a big risk. Just go to Zoof, Zoof.com, F as in Frank. Go to Zoof.com and try it out for 14 days. If you love it, keep it. If you don't, definitely let us know. We would love to hear your feedback. So that's our news for today. Now we'd like to get into our main topic, which is how to rank products on Amazon. We're on what episode are we on? Episode number 9 here so far. So we're kind of right now just trying to cover the fundamentals of the business model that we've been teaching people over the past, since basically 2012. We're helping people kind of get up to speed, know the basics, know how we think about this business. That's kind of where we're at right now. And so ranking products is one of the next most obvious things for us to get into. The reason this is important, because if you go out there and find a product, whether you found it somewhere else, you found it using Zoof, or you found it using Amazing Selling Machine, however you decided what product to sell, once you get it live on Amazon, you need to find a way to get people to actually see it. And one way now is using paid ads, which our previous episode that we just recorded was all about different ways to use Amazon paid ads. But you're paying for every single click. And so that can get expensive, and that potentially you may not make profit directly from the ads. You could potentially even be losing money. So you need a way to get sales that are not ad driven. And the way to do that is to actually go out there and rank products. And this general system of ranking products has changed somewhat over time. I think in general, the main strategy is you get people to, whether it's real people or back in the day, it was kind of fake accounts and stuff people were doing, or highly incentivized, like people getting a product for $1, basically to go out there and search for a relevant keyword. They buy your product. Amazon sees that a lot of people are buying your product instead of other ones after that keyword being searched for. So they start ranking your product higher. And you do that enough, and eventually you can rank for almost any keyword out there. In general, that's still the kind of main approach, but the way to do it has changed over time as Amazon's rules have changed, Amazon's policies, what they allow, what they don't allow. And so that kind of part has changed a bit over time, and with the different features available.
Matt, and one thing, no matter what the ranking strategy is, there's one thing you have to have, or no strategy will work, and that's a well-optimized listing. I know this is something that you really talk about a lot, and I think you've actually done it in your own businesses. So you want to talk a little bit about what that means to you?
Yeah, so I think in general, I've kind of seen that this is almost like a pyramid or upside down pyramid when it comes to doing anything in marketing for a business. It's like at the very bottom base level, so you got to have a good product. Because if you don't have a good product, you can still have a well-optimized website or product listing page on Amazon. You can run all the ads on the planet, but eventually people are going to find out your product's terrible and you're going to get bad reviews and the whole machine doesn't work. So first kind of level of the pyramid is to have a really good product that people are actually happy with. So they give you good reviews, they hopefully come back and buy it again if it's relevant for your product, or they at least tell other people. But if nothing else, at least you're getting good reviews and avoiding bad reviews. Next level of this thing is to have a good page to send people to. So I sell a couple $1 million a month on Shopify using a brand. And so that one, the equivalent over there is to have a really good web page that converts people. Amazon's equivalent is your product listing page. So you want to have a really good place people are going to go to, whether it's from paid ads or from organic rankings, the page that they're going to go to that you've put your best foot forward to convince those people to buy your product. And so that's the next most important thing once you are making sure that you actually have a good product. So on Amazon, that means, having great images, video if you can add them there, having great bullets, product description, and really monitoring and managing your reviews. I mean, we've seen, especially now with the rating system, it's a little bit different, but especially back in the day, you could get one star review and it could cut your sales in half. if that's the one that's kind of sticking there at the top of Amazon, because people are seeing that instead of other stuff. Eventually, hopefully, if you have a good product, those kind of get pushed down. But it is something you want to monitor because it can have a huge impact on your product's performance and conversion rate.
Absolutely. So you have to have the foundation, that upside down pyramid you talk about, good product, good listing, everything. And then the next step then is to have a launch strategy. So one approach, not saying it's the optimal approach, would be just create your listing and see what happens. For those of you who are selling on Amazon, if you go to the Amazon forums, you will see people who talk about this all the time. Hey, I listed a product that's not selling. What did I do wrong? I think the strategy or lack of a strategy is what you're doing wrong. Nowadays, not doing anything to promote your product is a formula for not being successful. So we don't recommend that. I mean, there's a chance that could work if you already have maybe a really strong brand outside of Amazon and people are searching for it. You have that with your coffee brand.
Yeah, I mean, like if you've got, we've seen it with a person that we worked with at one point that had a really popular brand outside of Amazon. They were running a lot of traffic, and this is kind of our situation. Is that you can even, like us, before we even listed the brand on Amazon, we saw that there were tons of suggested searches. You would start typing our brand name into the search bar, and there'd be like 20 suggested searches that all had our brand name, just because we were running so much traffic through Facebook that people, when they saw it and they kind of wanted to buy it, they would go check it out on Amazon immediately to see if it was available on there, and it wasn't at the time. So we basically just had to list our products there, and pretty much immediately we were doing almost nothing and producing, $50,000 a month in sales, just because we were, producing a lot of sales and pushing, $300,000-$400,000 a month in ad spend outside of Amazon. So it is nice if you're in that situation, but most people are not.
Yeah, let's assume you don't have $1 million brand going into this.
Yeah.
And so you want to get your product ranking. Back in 2014, so a year after I'd learned from you, started selling on Amazon, we identified something called, I don't know why we came up with the name, the super URL. But basically, as we did some live calls where you and Matt, you and Jason and everyone else, all the mentors involved in the Amazing Selling Machine program, would get on live calls and talk about what's working, what's not working. And we noticed that when people were searching for products on Amazon, and you do a search, you click on that product, the URL at the top looked a little odd. It wasn't just Amazon's and the product name. It had all the search terms that someone searched for it on there. And we thought, if that shows how someone searched for a product, could we use that URL as a link and give it to people and tell them to buy our product in order to move up and search for those specific search terms? And you know what? Worked like crazy. And so people went out and started using the super URL all the time, ranking products. Worked great. However, didn't work that well for forever. Amazon catches on to this kind of things. Not saying it's a black hat tactic or anything, but it's something that when they see it, that's kind of gaming the system, they tend to filter, or water down the results you get. And so that started, not working as well. Then I was just thinking about this as we're getting ready to go. Back in early 2017, you and I held a workshop. And we invented, we'll call the launch and rank system. We had a workshop, a couple thousand people were joined us throughout the workshops of this. And we did a combination of sending traffic via Facebook, using coupons, to another version of the super URL. It was kind of a brand URL. And then that worked for several years as well, getting products up and ranked on Amazon. It was great. I mean, that's one thing I think we taught at some masterminds and other workshops as well, but that was the strategy that people were really using for a long time. Then, of course, Amazon didn't really like that as much, and so watered down the results you get. Still kind of works. And then the next way that, one thing that always is true about Amazon is if something's not working, count on some people to go out there and keep testing something until it works. And so when that wasn't getting the results we were hoping for, we went kind of the old school approach. You mentioned PPC. Mm-hmm. And we found that a combination of PPC with a strong coupon, Amazon coupons, is a great way to rank. And when you started launching your brand on Amazon, you guys using any kind of discounting at all?
Yeah, we would do some coupons. We've had one on there just because we're trying to manage the price between the store and Amazon. And so we basically listed the full retail price on Amazon, but then we had, a pretty aggressive coupon on there for people to go out there and buy it, which was still kind of comparable to some of the discounts we run on the website. But yeah, that definitely was part of our strategy.
And so these coupons right inside of Amazon's advertising menu, they really stick out. So if you do some searches on Amazon, you look for whatever the product is, you'll still today notice that a very small percentage of the people who sell on Amazon are using these coupons. They're a little green tag that shows up under there. And so as we were noticing these coupons became more and more prevalent, you can see them more and they stood out more, we decided to start using that as a ranking strategy. So the strategy, which still works today, it's a great strategy, and Amazon loves the strategy. You start launching your product with Amazon PPC, and then you use a really high level discount, something around 50% off. So even if you have no reviews, you just start a product out there. When people do a search, they'll click on your ad. They will then see your product out there among the others with a really big, bright green, colorful discount. And chances are that, it's higher than if they didn't have the coupon, they're going to click on that and they'll buy that product. When that happens, there's this flywheel effect. Amazon sees people searching for a certain search term. They see people clicking on your ad, they see people buying your product, and then they start moving you back up in the search rank for that. That strategy today and probably forever will work great because it gives Amazon exactly what they want, a high converting product, and they're making money off ads as well. And it's a great strategy to get going. You don't always have to keep the 50% discount, but that's a great way to get started. So still a very good strategy. Now, there's another strategy we talk about right now called cashback offers. And that's something that we've been using also inside of Amazing Selling Machine. And it's a way to really incentivize people to buy your products as well. I don't even know if you guys even needed to use that for your Life Good Coffee at all, did you?
We just used some basic coupons because we had an email list and it was already getting a bunch of brand traffic. So we didn't do any like full cashback offers, no.
Okay, so the way that cashback offers work, and this is used in all types of industries, it's not just on Amazon. If you think about right around us, Walmart, Target, Menards, other big discount stores, they offer rebates all the time where you buy products and then they're going to give you either a check or cash back as an incentive to buy the products. Well, the same strategy can work on Amazon, where you will have your existing customers or maybe people buy your product, and then you offer them a cashback or a rebate offer, and that allows Amazon to see it as a full price sale, which we tend to believe that full price sales actually give you more of a ranking boost, and then that's going to be moving the ranking. Now, the key to having this happen is that people search for your product before they do that. That's kind of the secret sauce. People may be wondering, why would I just give away products and rebate people? If you ask them to search for keywords you want to rank for, then that will help you move up in the rankings. And then a little trick is don't start off with your most competitive keyword. Start with what we call a long tail keyword, something that's much longer than your primary keyword everyone's searching for. Think about, for example, it could be an iPhone X clear case, really long one, not just an iPhone case, but something much longer that doesn't get as much traffic, but that people will search for still, and you'll still get ranking for that.
Yeah, and we actually use this strategy with PPC, with the cashback offers, and with a coupon. I used it on one of my wife's products. She's got a small brand she sells on Amazon. I kind of want to test out some of these strategies. So I took one of her products that wasn't really ranking for much of anything, wasn't producing a lot of sales, used exactly the strategy, coupon code, PPC, highly targeted, didn't want to waste a bunch of money on PPC. She's extremely frugal, and so she would not have been happy about that either. And then used, for the cashback offers, we actually sent an email and text message out to all the past people that had opted in using our package insert. And we also used a tool that we have inside of Amazing Selling Machine if you have access. But we used both of those. And it was kind of funny. We were emailing and texting the existing customers. And, she doesn't do a ton of communication with them, so maybe they didn't quite trust the relationship. But some of them thought we were like lying to them, or we're going to screw them over or something like that. We're like, no, we're literally going to pay you back 100% for this product. And so we did get quite a few that did. I think it was like 20 or so, which was kind of the target. And so we did that. And, within, a week and a half, she was ranking basically top 3 for the 2 keywords that I was targeting. Like, it worked amazingly. And then I was tracking daily, the amount of sales we were getting from rebates, the amount of sales we were getting from ads, and then the kind of ones left over, which are basically organic sales. And then pretty soon the product went from nothing to producing, basically 10 organic sales a day. So it worked amazingly well.
Yeah, people may be a little hesitant to spend that money, invest that money in those rebates, cashback offers starting off. But once you get sales coming organically, it's definitely worth it. Think of it as an investment in launching your product.
And you're also getting the reviews, because Amazon really does not play around with review stuff. Like, that's the thing, because they'll just lose trust in their platform. So if you're doing any review manipulation whatsoever, you should stop doing it, because Amazon is not going to like that. And so this is a way to get real. I mean, remember, kind of going back to the pyramid, if you have a good product, that's the first step. So then all you have to do is get people to buy that product, and then you should get positive reviews, or at least not get negative reviews. And so you just have to find a way to get sales. And then your good product will hopefully get reviews for you. And so the more sales you can get, the more reviews you can get. So this is a kind of way to kind of engineer that process.
So, of the strategy we talked about here, one, if you don't really feel comfortable yet or don't know how to go out there and do cashback offers, you can definitely launch your product using PPC and a high discount. That is absolutely a strategy. Still works today. Will probably work for a very long time. And if you believe that you really want to invest a little money up front and take advantage of strategies that we've been using and seeing working right now, also tie that into some cashback offers when people search for your product. Those are definitely working to the strategies that we recommend. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about a few strategies we don't recommend that work because they're considered black hat tactics. And two of those, let me talk about the two that I'm aware of right now. One is the add to cart strategy. Now, again, we don't use any of these. I don't personally know of people that are using these right now, but I do know people who've used them in the past. They seem to work exceptionally well, but we do not recommend these, but want to talk about these because we know they're out there. The strategy is if you get 100 or maybe 1,000 people, just a lot of people to go out there and add your product to the cart after doing a search for it, you will move up in the search rankings for that search term, even without them making a purchase. Seems kind of weird that you think that Amazon would value the purchase more than just adding to the cart, but the way that their algorithms work is they know that typically the average person who adds a product to the cart will end up buying that product. So they really put a lot of value into these add to carts. So they're also when that happens, they start showing you more and more for that search term. Now that's one way. Another way, which is very similar, is when you have a lot of people add your product to a wish list. That seems to trigger something on Amazon's algorithm side as well. So if they search for you, they find you, and then they add it to a wish list, they somehow move you up in the search rankings. Now, these are black hat tactics. Definitely don't recommend you using them because eventually, like we've seen in the past month or so, Amazon really coming down hard on any companies who are trying to game the system, especially on reviews. But they also they found those reviews by finding a database of customers these companies were using in order to organize that. So if that same thing were to happen when you're trying to organize these black hat tactics, chances are Amazon would shut you down. But we want you to be aware of them. We just want to make sure you know that we're aware of these out there. We're not blind to them. We just choose not to teach them because we're always focused on building a long-term, lifelong brand that you can grow, get cash out of, and potentially sell later on down the road as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really willing to play the long game with this stuff, it's like you can make a lot of money doing this. I mean, we've talked some different conversations with Thrasio. It's like the biggest buyer of Amazon FBA businesses. And they said the number one thing they look for is what they call a review moat, meaning that you have a lot more reviews than anybody else in your market, because for them, that kind of means the product's probably going to be more consistent in terms of sales. So if they're investing money in this business, they want to know that it's still going to sell well, 2, 3, 4 years from now. And so if you're willing to go with a little bit lower price, if you're willing to run some ads, if you're willing to do some cashback offers, the longer you play that game, the more sales you get, the more reviews you get, the more likely you can, make a lot of money over the long term. However, a lot of people aren't willing to do that because they kind of, maybe you're kind of building a business because you want to make some income now. And so you're kind of like, well, I don't want to just keep, putting money into this thing, or at least not be able to pull anything out for, years and years. So it's kind of up to you, but that strategy is available. If you were willing to take a brand new product and run this strategy for 2 years aggressively, so you could potentially beat almost anybody in the market. So it's something to think about. It's just a matter of do you want to delay gratification that long? And most people aren't, which is totally fine. So that, I think, pretty much wraps up today's episode. If you have any questions about what we covered today or anything in the future, head over to Amazing.com/branded, BRANDED. You can fill out the little form, ask us a question. We'd love to hear from you on a future episode. Also, if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, give us a review. We would love to hear from you there also. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.